Yo, what's up? I am out in the middle of nowhere in a tent, in a spot that I'm sure is probably not legal. But I couldn't find anywhere else to go, so I'm here. Now, I don't know if any of you guys remember, but last night I did say that I am going to set up camp the next night, that would be tonight, before the sun went down, instead of fishing around through the dark like I did last night looking for a camp spot. Well, I lied. It took me an hour to find this place. It's now a little bit after 12 at night. It's like 12 something midnight. And I set the tent up a bit more than I did last night. I don't know if you guys could tell, but see if I can use my new flashlight here. This one's a lot brighter. So, yes, you can't really see that. But anyways, I set it up a bit more today. It's almost fully set up. And the reason is because this camp spot is freaking beautiful. There's a lake not far by. This is actually all underneath here is pine needles and stuff, like layers of it, so it's really cushiony soft, which is really a plus. My back will appreciate that. Where I was last night was pretty close to a railroad track and a road, so it wasn't the best ground. There was a meadow nearby, but it was too much of a clearing. I was afraid that somebody would see me camp there and call the fuzz or something. So yeah, that's the deal. I'm finally stopped for the day. I got two people that picked me up, which is awesome. One was a lady, probably in her 40s, and she'd kind of been down and out before, and I guess her brother had been homeless before, and I guess she had been homeless before. And so she knew what it was like, and she saw me, hoofing it down the road, and she figured she would stop and give me a ride. So she got me about 4 or 5 miles, maybe 6, down the road, which is cool. So yeah, that's really cool because I know it's only like 6 miles, but it's still 6 miles that I don't have to walk. And then after that, some nice guy named James, what a coincidence, picked me up in his pickup truck and said, "Where you headed?" And he lived down the road and next to a campground, but the campground was closed, so I couldn't camp there. So I guess they only stay open to 10 or 9 or some shit. So anyways, yeah, that's what happened. So he gave me a ride, maybe about 2 miles on the road. So that's a score of 8 miles. And I know it's not like, it's not like someone picked me up and drove me 50 miles or something, but it's still a plus because I'd been walking for quite a long distance today, carrying that shit, and every little bit helps, even if it's only just a couple miles. So that's really cool, So it seems like the people that help are the people that have been there, that can kind of put themselves in your shoes, because to some extent, at least, they've been there, and so they can kind of identify with you, and that causes them to want to turn around and pick you up and help. But the people that are usually more well off financially and don't know what it's like to be out here or to be in a situation where you don't have a place to sleep and you're hitchhiking, they'll just drive by you. And a lot of people nowadays sit on a throne of being judgmental, because it's easier to be judgmental when you haven't been in someone else's shoes. It's easy to sit on your high horse when, you haven't been down and out, and, that's just the way it goes. It sucks, but, yeah. So, I kind of wish, in a sense, that more people had, were destitute, in this country, just so they would understand what it's like. Because there's a lot of fucking, judgmental assholes that I've met in my life that have never fucking really been down and out, and yet they have so much advice to give you. They have so much to say about your situation and what you're not doing that you should be doing or what you could be doing, and yet they don't have a goddamn clue of what it's like to be out here and to be, in a rough spot. And that's what I've noticed. Something else I've noticed too, and these are general statements, so I'm not talking about all Republicans or all liberals, but it seems to me that Republicans, in my experience, in general, tend to demonize people who are down and out, people who are homeless, instead of trying to help them. And then it's been my experience that liberals generally tend to be more thoughtful and to put themselves in other people's shoes and, to empathize. That's just been my experience. And I'm definitely not talking about, if you're a conservative, Republican or some shit, and you're watching this and you're like, you asshole, you're being judgmental, or you're overgeneralizing. I'm not. I'm just saying it's been my experience for the most part that conservatives, Republicans, they tend to demonize the homeless and those people that are going through shit, instead of actually helping them. Or when they do help them, it seems like a lot of them, their version of help is not exactly the type of help that people really need. It's usually like advice or shit like, go to a homeless shelter, or, shit like that. Like, have you been to a homeless shelter? Would you stay there? Would you feel safe there with all the drug addicts and the fucking loonies that, the cutbacks have turned all these loonies on the streets, and now they're in the fucking homeless shelters, and they're nuts and they're dangerous, a lot of them, or they're on drugs and now they're even more dangerous. Think about shit before you talk about it. Before you talk about the streets and talk about people on the streets, or, people who are homeless, wherever they're at, make sure you've fucking been there first before you, go on this long commentary about what people ought to do or what they're not doing that they should be doing, because that's so easy to say from your position, but not so easy to do from their position, so, and it kind of goes both ways, because there are people on the streets that are there because they just want to fucking mooch, and I definitely don't like that shit. But then there are people that are hard workers, but, they either have too much child support like me, and, they got laid off and they're in a rough spot and they don't have family to bail them out, or, friends that'll let them sleep on their couch or whatever. There's all kinds of reasons why people are down and out. And, if it's so easy to fucking pass judgment on somebody instead of really taking the time to look at their situation and say, why are they there, and what can I do to help? What can I learn from them? Instead of thinking you know them inside and out already, even though you've never been in their shoes before. So anyways, I don't know if I communicated all that coherently. I'm kind of tired, and I've been on the road a while, but don't expect these nightly updates all the time. I may just start shooting one video a day. I'm not sure. It depends on how long this journey ends up being. With that said, people, thanks for watching.